Like hundreds of accredited broadcasters and journalists, we were given official permission to access the hall. It was strictly for the purpose of reporting on the event.
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 This Morning Controversies.
You may have seen, or anyway heard, about the interview we did on yesterday's show with Kerry Katona. We were very concerned for her, and so were you.
For this list, we're looking at the most controversial moments on ITV's most popular morning show. Let us know what you think about Phillip Schofield below. Number 10. Amanda Holden. For years now, Phillip Schofield's fellow TV personality Amanda Holden has made no secret of her dislike for him.
See, you've been absolutely stunning and amazing, and so we thought we'd have a look at some of your best bits.
For a long time, they've been feuding behind the scenes, ever since Holly Willoughby left the show for 6 weeks to replace Ant on I'm a Celebrity.
We've got Holly coming back in September.
I thought she was here!
Well, in a fashion.
Supposedly, Holden was the favourite to take over, as she'd already filled in for Holly before, until Phil intervened. The job instead went to Rochelle Humes.
So have you enjoyed it?
Oh my God, I have to say it's been one of the happiest years of my life.
She's not the only one who has a bone to pick with Scof either, as Fern Britton has also been rowing with him for over a decade. It seems he just can't stop making enemies of all his colleagues. Number 9. Should boys cry? This bizarre debate appeared back in 2019, following a small interview between Giovanna Fletcher on her podcast and former SAS soldier Ant Middleton.
Not being brought up with, there's no discipline, there's no respect, and I was brought up the same. If I fell over and I cried, I'd get a slap on the legs.
Middleton said he wouldn't approve of his son crying, and 2 people were brought onto This Morning to continue the row. The controversy was that they were arguing about this at all in the modern age, since obviously men of all ages shouldn't feel like they're not allowed to show emotion anymore.
I think when it comes to whether boys or girls should cry, it's damaging not to release emotion, isn't it?
Viewers were quick to say the same thing, attacking ITV for giving airtime to something that shouldn't be a debate at all.
Isn't that more, rather than telling him not to cry because he's going to get bullied, isn't it better to educate all children that actually crying isn't a show of weakness?
Number 8. The Corbyn-Johnson divide. In 2019, the UK had yet another general election called following Boris Johnson's ascension to the Tory leadership earlier that year.
If people get higher wages, which they need, if we do something about the terrible levels of child poverty and poverty in this country, people have more money to spend. That is itself an economic growth.
It was between him and Jeremy Corbyn, and This Morning got to interview both of them. Corbyn's interview was more than a little antagonistic, with Schofield repeatedly trying to force him to apologise for anti-Semitism in the party, still under investigation at the time.
Can I make it clear?
Just say sorry.
No, wait a minute. I and our party...
No, just say sorry.
Come on, can I say something?
Well,
our party...
I want you to say sorry.
Meanwhile, Boris Johnson didn't get such difficult questions, instead joking around with Phillip and Holly until eventually posing for a selfie with them.
Yes.
And so
I know what you're going to say.
Do you?
Well,
what am I going to say?
Well, I may be wrong.
That means you're worried about something.
What are you worried about?
In fairness, This Morning isn't really a place for hard-hitting political journalism, but there was a clear difference in how each man was treated. Number 7. Eamonn Holmes sacked.
Now, folks, there's something I want to talk to you about today. It is...
For years, Holly and Phillip presented Monday to Thursday, while Friday was Eamonn Holmes and Ruth Langsford's time to shine. But that came to an end in 2021, after 15 years of Eamonn working for the show, when Alison Hammond and Dermot O'Leary took the Friday slot instead.
So it hasn't been a good time.
It hasn't been a good time.
No.
And I've been in tears. And I've been in tears again.
Though it was initially reported as Eamonn Holmes' decision, it later came out that he had been sacked by ITV, apparently because the This Morning viewers stopped wanting to watch him. He then took up a job presenting on GB News, with Ruth staying behind at ITV. That's no way to treat someone who's worked for you for over a decade, though.
Well,
To be back together.
good. Everything's good except getting back up at this time. But what makes it worthwhile is knowing that you guys are out there. And
Number 6. Kerry Katona.
If I'm honest now, you don't seem right to me sitting here now. I mean, your speech is a bit slurred.
In 2008, Kerry Katona appeared on This Morning for an interview that has followed her ever since. She slurred her speech and didn't make an awful lot of sense, which led to the public concluding that she must have been under the influence whilst live on daytime telly.
11:30 last night, didn't I, Mark? I did a TV show last night. I wasn't told like this yesterday, but I woke up early in the morning.
Katona herself has said that wasn't what happened, and that the truth is that she had been on some powerful medication to keep her bipolar disorder under control.
And sadly, once again, Kerry finds herself making the headlines today for all the wrong reasons.
More than a decade on, she appeared on GB News to discuss the infamous interview and her mental health once again, and how much it's affected her career. Number 5. Eamonn's COVID theories. Perhaps this incident was one reason why ITV decided to cut Eamonn loose, as back in 2020 he ended up parroting some conspiracy theories while live on air.
And this rumour has been spread so far and wide and has been so convincing to so many people that there's been some 30 acts of vandalism and arson.
This was in April of that year, only a month into the pandemic, so it wasn't great to have misinformation like this repeated on TV.
Totally agree with everything you're saying, but what I don't accept is mainstream media immediately slapping that down as not true.
What he actually did was call out the mainstream media for dismissing the idea that 5G causes COVID, apparently without investigating it, despite anyone with any knowledge of science being able to tell you that 5G can't possibly cause a contagious disease to break out.
One should attack or damage or do anything like that, but it's very easy to say it is not true because it suits the state narrative.
It came during a segment about COVID misinformation too. Number 4. Noel Edmonds.
You either decide you're going to focus on living your life, or you decide you're going to resign yourself to living your death.
Can positive vibes cure cancer? Yes, according to Noel Edmonds, who credits his optimistic attitude with helping him overcome prostate cancer a few years ago. He was brought onto This Morning to discuss his views, leading him to blows with none other than Phillip Schofield, causing trouble yet again.
You said, is it possible your ill health is caused by your negative attitude?
He said that his cancer was brought on by stress, something Phil clearly believed was total nonsense, and wasted no time telling him as much.
Do you ask that to a child that had cancer? If it's about having negative energy?
I think you're completely missing the point here.
It was rather a fiery interview by This Morning standards, and has led to yet another ongoing feud between Schofield and Edmonds, though Edmonds did apologise for his remarks in the end. Number 3. Spin to win.
This week we've got our usual cash prizes, but you could also win some extra cash to pay your energy bills until the end of the year. That's
2022 saw the cost of living crisis reach new, previously unfathomable heights. With the pound at its all-time low, mortgage rates through the roof, inflation skyrocketing, and energy bills leading households in debt, ITV stepped in to try and alleviate the public's financial woes.
Good luck, everyone. Hope it's you.
okay, first one.
This culminated in a game of spin to win, widely branded dystopian by the public, as they offered viewers the prize of having their energy bills paid for them.
We'll pay your energy bills, got £1,000 as well. So this is energy bills, I think, for 4 months if it stops on that.
Though few would turn down the chance to have their bills paid, a standard cash prize would accomplish the same thing without being quite so harrowing to think about. The prize was quickly removed from the wheel.
It is going to be... It's your energy bill!
Number 2. The List.
Extremely serious allegations, and that's why the government has moved so quickly to try and get to the bottom of exactly what they are.
Again, This Morning dipped a toe into in-depth reporting with this wildly contentious interview with David Cameron back in 2012. Cameron warned against the dangers of conducting a witch hunt against anybody with no evidence, but was still presented by Schofield with a list of potential sex offenders he'd found during a brief Google search, much to Holly Willoughby's horror.
Otherwise, a momentary cursory glance at the internet. It took me about 3 minutes last night to continually find a list of the same names.
Some of these allegations were aimed at senior Tory MPs. as the public saw because a handful of the names were clearly legible to the cameras.
I have those names there. Those are the names on a piece of paper. You know the names on that piece of paper. Will you be speaking to those people?
No. The whole thing was a farce, and Schofield was harshly reprimanded by ITV bosses and forced to publicly apologise.
And I'm worried about the sort of thing you're doing right now, giving me a list of names that you've taken off the internet.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 1. Q-Gate.
Well, we wanted to come to pay our respects to the Queen because she was just such an amazing person.
The biggest storm to hit this morning in years is undoubtedly the Q-Gate scandal. Following the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, members of the public could line up to pay their respects to her coffin.
The rules were that we would be quickly escorted around the edges to a platform at the back. In contrast, those paying respects walked along a carpeted area beside the coffin.
Certain celebs were offered a separate fast-track queue, though many still used the normal queue with everybody else. Except, it seemed, for Holly Willoughby and Phillip Schofield. While filming a This Morning segment, they apparently jumped the queue, though they and ITV were quick to point out that they were there as official media and were working.
None of the broadcasters and journalists there took anyone's place in the queue, and no one filed past the Queen.
Regardless, it's a controversy that just won't die, with petitions going around, endless public statements, and fellow celebrities taking jabs at the daytime duo.
Please know that we would never jump a queue.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojoUK and subscribe for more great content.